So on this example, we want the new equation. Again, it's going to be a new equation, but this line is going to be perpendicular this time, all right? So the perpendicular line, we know the slope will be the opposite reciprocal. And the opposite's the sign, the reciprocal is just flipping the fraction, okay? But we need the original slope, by the way. So that's where we're going to need, once again, slope-intercept form. Y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope, and the b is the y-intercept. And our new equation will it's going to take the same format, but again, we need the slope from this equation first, okay? And then we can write the equation that's perpendicular to it. So for that equation that's given right there, I need this to be in slope-intercept form. So I don't want the 4x added to the 3y, so I'm going to have to subtract 4x's from both sides. And that will zero that out. So this does exactly what we wanted. It drops the 3y so that it's by itself. And then again, we got those other two terms, the negative 4x and the negative 24. Keep those separated because they're not like terms that you can combine. So don't combine those. The last thing we want is just y equals mx plus b. This is pretty close, but I have a coefficient right now that's 3. I got to make it a 1. So I'm going to divide it by itself. That would be 1, but if I divide it there, I got to divide it everywhere. Now, 3 divided by 3 is 1. I've got it as a phantom 1. And then my slope there is going to be negative 4/3. And then negative 24 divided by 3 is negative 8. Even though we don't need that negative 8, the y-intercept, 0, negative 8, is still there, okay? So my new equation, just like before, it's going to take the same format, right? Y equals mx plus b. Well, what we need is we need the slope first. Now, this is not parallel, right? This is a perpendicular slope. So we need a slope that's the opposite reciprocal. But I've got to take the original slope here, which is at negative 4/3. And I've got to get the opposite reciprocal slope. So opposite reciprocal, boom, that's going to be my perpendicular slope. All right, so the opposite, first of all, is I have a negative fraction there, so my new fraction will be positive. I put the sign there, but you don't necessarily have to. And then the reciprocal is just flipping that fraction. Now it's 3/4. Okay, so that'd be up 3 to the right 4, now that we're graphing it. But I at least have my slope, right? So I can put my slope in here, and that's really all the m and b are. Is just we're taking these values that we find and then inserting them where those letters go. The last thing I need is the y-intercept, but up here it says it has the y-intercept of 0, 8. Now that's a positive 8, so this one's going to be a plus 8 right there. And so even though it looks pretty similar to this negative 8, again, that's a different y-intercept, that's positive 8. Not that we care because the slopes are different as well. But this right here, that's the equation for a line that's parallel to this one, but also going through this y-intercept at 0, 8. But again, this y-intercept was given. In future problems, they're not going to give us the y-intercept. We got to find those ourselves. So be prepared for that. How do you find a y-intercept if it is not given? Well, we've seen that before. We'll see it again later.